What is going up? What is going on, everybody? What's up? Going on? Got me back and forth here. I'm your host, Dylan Davis, and today I'm joined by my guy, Scotty. Oh, you're not Scotty.
No, I'm
That's my
not.
man, Jeremy, to the right. Give him a follow at J Orworth11. Jeremy, what is going on today? And welcome to your first outing on Turf Talk.
Yeah, first time on Turk Talk. Very excited to be here. Doing all right after Thursday night. Wish I could be a little bit better, but I'm doing all right so far.
Yeah, man, you got to do with the football yesterday. You
Yeah.
got to get your anger out. You got to get your feelings and emotions out yesterday. I
Mhm.
haven't yet. I haven't done a live show since the Eagles Bucs game. I was there. It was
Oh,
not exciting whatsoever.
I bet those run plays were.
A lot of things. I think the highlight of the night was just hearing the crowd erupt every time Miles Sanders touched the ball, like like the most sarcastic Philly explosion of a roar, like cheer every time Sanders got a handoff. And the best was in the second half, he got one and like took it for like 6 yards for a first down or something, and the place exploded, dude. And it's just like a big kind of middle finger to you, Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Get this man the ball. But that's what we're gonna start off with on today's show, is recapping the Bucs Eagles games. Sage, what is going on, my guy? Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you. And then we'll get into this full Sunday slate of games for week 6. Talk about what games stick out to us. You know, we got Ravens, Chargers on the slate, Browns, Cardinals. Tomorrow night, you got Bills, Titans in an AFC showdown. So we'll talk about all that. We'll give our pigskin picks, and then we'll get you guys up on out of here and get you ready for a great Sunday afternoon. But like I said, Jeremy got to talk about his Eagles yesterday. So I'm going to start today. And let's start with the quarterback, my man, Jalen Hurts. Here are the numbers: 12 of 26, 115 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown and interception, 2 rushing TDs, and a 55.8 quarterback rating. Look, I know people are going to come for me on this. The Jalen Hurts defenders. I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater, as a lot of people are going to call me out to be. But right now, for the time being, he's just not it. He is not it right now. And I know Nick Sirianni isn't helping him out. And I know he's probably even a bigger issue than Jalen Hurts is at the moment. And I know they're putting entirely too much on his shoulders to carry this offense and to carry this team. And we know the percentages of called runs and how much he has the ball in his hands and how he leads the team in rushing. So he is being asked to do entirely too much in his young career in Philadelphia. But I keep getting this question, and I get this question from my co-host Scotty this week. And it is, well, how can you really evaluate Jalen Hurts when all this other stuff is going on and he's not being helped out in the slightest? You're right. It's not entirely fair. And there are a lot of things. The defense isn't good. This roster is poorly constructed. The offensive line is banged up. They're not running the ball. It's incredible. The play call, the game plan, it's all horrible, right? Jalen Reagor doesn't show up. He does, Dallas Goedert's out. But what I can evaluate is what Jalen Hurts can control himself. And when he's missing guy after guy, when he's underthrowing balls on tight coverages, when he's underthrowing contested balls where a receiver can't make a play, and then turning around and overthrowing wide open receivers for interceptions, when he bails from a clean pocket too early, when he's still stuck on one read and won't get off of one read. I saw it up close and personal. Zach Ertz streaking over the middle of the field when it was a 7-point game for a first down. Nope, locked in on Jalen Reagor. Now, was it pass interference? When I got home, I could see it was. But still, you can't rely on the flag when Zach Ertz is wide open. You were stuck on one read. When he can't throw the ball for more than 5 yards accurately. Here's a stat from my man, Shane Haff at CPL. He is 41 of 44 passing behind the line of scrimmage. He is 130 of 208 passing, which means 21% of his passes have been behind the line of scrimmage. If you remove those passes, he is 89 of 164 passing, which is a 54% completion rate. That I can evaluate. When he does things like throw the ball away on 4th down or on a free play, or when he slides on Thursday night 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, giving up for a 3-yard sack instead of just flipping the ball out of bounds. I can evaluate all that. He's not it right now. And you can't have it both ways. All week, this little sense of optimism. I wish I had it. I wasn't optimistic this week heading into the Bucs, and the game
Yeah.
from start to finish and all week wasn't exciting. I wasn't pumped up as I would normally be for an Eagles Tom Brady Thursday night matchup.
Yeah.
But all week I heard from, Phil was trying to talk himself into it. Scotty was trying to talk himself into it. And all I heard was how bad this Bucs defense is. And Tom Brady's a little banged up and it's a short week. And how to expect Jalen and his offense to move the ball and to score points. And then when he gets shut down, Jeremy, by that same worst pass defense in the NFL, I'm getting, what do you want him to do against the defending champs? No. You don't get it both ways.
Nope.
It's either the worst pass defense in football or it's the defending champs. He looked horrible against the worst pass defense in the NFL. He looked horrible against a bad, maybe a little bit better this year, but not a so great Dallas Cowboys defense.
Mm-hmm.
He has looked good for about 2 games, maybe 3. He's looked bad.
If you even want to say that.
So, yeah, while it's not entirely fair to evaluate the kid and to really be this harsh on him because there are external factors that, are hindering his play that could be holding him back, that's what I can evaluate. And right now, it's flat out not good enough. I don't know what your thoughts on Jalen Hurts are. I haven't spoken to you about Jalen Hurts yet this season, but that's where I'm at right now. So what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts so far, and what are your thoughts on what you saw on Thursday night from him?
So I'm kind of in the same book as you. I have never been a huge Jalen Hurts guy. I always want him to do well. He's on the Eagles. I want him to be a good quarterback. If he could be the franchise quarterback, I'd love it. Did I ever say I saw it coming that he would be the guy? No. I've always been the guy that was down on him. I've been called a Jalen Hurts hater way too many times already the past year. And the problems we're seeing already early this year are the same problems I had last year. He's not an accurate quarterback. When people kept on saying out of college his IQ in football is really well, it's really not, because he does get stuck on his first read. I saw a couple plays last week against the Bucs where he would run out of the pocket, and instead of dumping it off to even get a first down, just dump it off over to, I remember Zach Ertz was open right at the first down marker. He threw it 10 yards deeper to Quez Watkins.
He's done that multiple times.
Yeah, he does it all the time. And though it was completed, Quez had 2 guys coming in on him.
Was that the tip ball?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
Or was it the one where he dragged his toe out of bounds?
No, not that one. There was one. It was a crazy catch from Quez, honestly.
It was tipped, yeah. It was
that tipped?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. But there was a guy right in front of him, 10 yards before. I think it was Ertz. And all he had to do, he was wide open. Yeah. We just got a first down. Instead, he goes to Quez, which that ball could have been intercepted. Who knows how bad that could have been. Quez Watkins, who had an amazing game. That man is just he's all over the field. I love Quez Watkins, and he made an amazing play, but you're not going to get that every time. We've been seeing that before.
No.
And so Jalen Hurts, for me, I just don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he's athletic. And again, I've been saying this forever. I think he'd be a great backup. But I don't think he is a starter in this league. Again, just like the problems you've noticed that you pointed out today, these problems have been going on since last season, ever since he came in, and nothing's been fixed. He had a full off season. I don't want to hear, he's only played in 9 games in his career. This is what we were given. And even though he has all the problems with the team that's around him, a lot of quarterbacks too. I don't want to hear he has this many problems. Even though he has this many problems, how's he going to play well? If you're a good quarterback, you find a way to be able to show confidence in your fan base.
Yeah,
and most of your fan base isn't with you right now.
I mean, I won't bring up someone who's no longer here that no one gave these same excuses for last year, but that's neither here nor there. And by the way, guys, what we're saying doesn't make us Jalen Hurts haters.
Right.
I keep seeing that, and I keep seeing Jalen Reagor stuff too. I cannot stand Jalen Reagor. I've been vocal about it on the shows, on social media, talking to people. I'm not a Jalen Reagor guy at whatsoever. I hate how he carries himself on social media after playing poorly, and it's kind of a chip on my shoulder. Don't talk to me when I overcome these odds. You stink. Yeah. So maybe play better and I won't have anything to say about you. But I see people on social media. He makes one catch with the clip. It's up on Twitter. Where are the Jalen Reagor haters at? First of all, bro, get more than one catch before you come at me. And it's not coming at me, but you get what I'm saying. It doesn't make us haters to evaluate that, right? And let's just say what it is. Maybe these are growing pains with Jalen Hurts. We expected that growing pains was something a phrase that I used and many, many people used this offseason heading into this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. You can't make every excuse for the kid and just chalk it up as growing pains. Maybe he's just not good enough. Now, I'm not saying that's the definitive answer yet, but I'm tired of seeing every single week the same mistakes that we're talking about, and you're just chalking it up as growing pains. No, you don't know that. I don't know that it's not growing pains, and you don't know that it is growing pains. So stop that. It doesn't make me, it doesn't make Jeremy, it doesn't make anyone who questions it a hater. I need to see it before I believe it, and I haven't seen enough. Now, it's still very early. Now, let's talk about that IQ that you talked about, Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, you hear about his IQ, and maybe you're right, and maybe, he doesn't have this, high flaw IQ that a lot of people thought. But that's not just the only thing that people talk about. It's his leadership.
Yeah.
It's how mentally tough he is. It's how he holds himself accountable. It's how he carries himself. He's built for this city. I don't care about that stuff if the production on the field doesn't match it. That's all secondary. Does a good quarterback need to be a great leader? Yeah. Does he need to hold himself and his teammates accountable? Yeah. Does he need to have a strong work ethic? Yes. That comes after producing on the field. I'm not talking about winning the game, and we'll get to that later in the show, but it was never about beating the Bucs. It's how you looked. It was never about winning games. It's how you look when you get to the end of the game, and he hasn't looked good enough. No. At all. So stop with the work ethic, stop with the IQ, stop with the leadership, stop with the, loving his high school movie phrases that he uses like Nick Sirianni does in press conferences.
It's so
stop
bad.
it. I don't want to hear any more of it until I see more of it on the field. Okay?
Yep.
I think that just about wraps up the Jalen Hurts conversation.
Definitely.
Kid wasn't good enough against the worst pass defense in all of the National Football League. I don't want to hear any excuses this week. You keep saying you got to be better. Go be better. All right? Now, let's get to problem number 2, but more realistically, he probably is problem number 1 when it comes to the overall play of this team and the game plan and the play calling and everything. Let's get to Nick Sirianni. Yeah. Where do I start, Jeremy? Continues to not run the football. Sanders, 1 carry, 1 catch in the first half. Now, was this the game you really expected to see Nick Sirianni pound the ball? No, because you weren't going to have success with it against this Tampa Bay run defense. But still, 1 carry for Miles Sanders in an entire half. He continues to stick to the short and screen game when it's not there. Like, Nick, if that's your game plan, if that's your script for your first 10 plays, and you come in and you continue to see it get blown up, can you adjust, or do you not have a backup plan? Is this just you come in with this game? What do you do throughout the week? I heard all about how you had your coaches over your house. It felt like when you were in high school or when you were little and your dad had people over, or whatever he said, or when he was coaching high school and he had people over, whatever his phrase was. Well, what did you guys do? He refuses to utilize the middle of the field. Now, I don't know if that's because Jalen Hurts isn't a strong point in Jalen Hurts' passing game. I don't know what it is, but the middle of the field is useless when it comes to this Eagles offense. And then after the game, he says he's not giving up play calling, and I don't think he should be giving up play calling right now. No one expects this Eagles team to go anywhere. And if you can't be critical on Jalen Hurts, then it's not too fair to say after 6 games that Nick Sirianni should automatically give up play calling.
Yeah.
But then to say that you're confident in your process throughout the week, you're not going to change up how you attack and what you do. Now, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I quote tweeted it when they said, he says they're confident in their process. Well, they're the only ones. No one else in this city or in this fan base is confident in what Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff is putting together. So Nick Sirianni realistically probably was problem number 1 on Thursday night, and he continues to be problem number 1 as far as game plan and play calling goes throughout this entire season so far.
Sirianni is the most frustrating part of this entire team. Now, yes, just like how we got our complaints about Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni is the one that I scream at the most during my games. That's what I said yesterday on What the Football. When I'm screaming at the TV, I'm screaming at Sirianni more than anyone. This guy's play calling's terrible. Can he fix it over time? Maybe, but just like you said, he makes it sound like he thinks he's doing everything right. and it's just not working out this week, and it'll work better next week. When you have problems, you have to fix it. Like you hear the phrase, it's like if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, it's broken, so fix it. You got to do something. Got to run the ball more. When Miles Sanders has the ball in his hands, he's our best playmaker. You need to be giving him the ball. He is our number one guy. And even when he only gets he had 1 or 2 targets even last week, even passing. And when Nick Sirianni says his RPOs count as run plays, it's terrible. It's so terrible. Nick Sirianni has just already, to me, looked like a bust. And again, maybe I'm too early on it, but what I've already seen and the fact that he already doesn't want to fix anything, he's doing everything right, really worries me, because if this keeps on going, it's going to be really worrisome with whoever's that quarterback. Because, I mean, just like how I had the Jalen Hurts hate, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to succeed with the play calling that's going on. But Jalen Hurts is a guy that can try and figure it out, and he's the athletic to do it. But yeah, Nick Sirianni, he's very frustrating. And if I see him put on another T-shirt that his intern got him the day before about something, I don't know. He probably wearing a Flyers shirt today. I don't know.
That'll be tomorrow. Flyers play the Kraken tomorrow, so I'm sure he'll have a Flyer shirt on tomorrow.
There you go.
You're right, man. He's the guy that, as frustrating as Jalen has been, to watch for me, Nick's the guy that I'm screaming at the most, because it's like, what are you doing? And it really, dude, being up there, I was up in the nosebleed. I was about 5 rows from the top, right? And even up there, like, you can see what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs know what's about to happen. You can watch it from your TV and know what he's about to call, and the Bucs know. And it's just impossible to keep watching. Miles Sanders is arguably, probably, your best skill position player. You refuse to get him involved. You refuse to utilize him. It makes 0 sense. Problem, Jeremy, when it's only week 6 in your short tenure as an Eagles head coach and play caller, probably not a good thing to have the crowd sarcastically cheering when you run the football every time. Week 6, dude. This isn't a full year. This isn't whatever. 6 weeks in, it's already a running joke of what you do every single week. He has called some of the worst like some of the worst games, come up with the worst game plans I have ever seen. And I'm not really exaggerating.
Yeah.
Like, it's, it's hard to go back and, remember that game that Doug called that was really bad? No. So that's hard to do. But in my short memory, some of the worst game plans I have ever seen. And he doesn't adjust, man. At least Gannon tries to adjust. Sirianni does it. And you're right. I'm tired of the T-shirts. I'm tired of the visor with the 19 different colored pens and markers in his head. And I'm tired. It's all great, dude. I know you're supporting your guys. I'm tired of a new sticker getting added to your visor every single week. I'm sick of it. Stop. What do you do throughout the week? You think I care if you wear a Julius Erving hoodie? You think I care if you wear a Flyers hat? You think I care if you wear an Axeman T-shirt? You think I care if you wear a Brandon Graham T-shirt? Stop. It's the same. It's like Jalen Hurts. You think I care about his work ethic and his leadership ability? No, not when he's not producing on the field. I don't care about those things with Nick Sirianni unless he's producing on the field. And it's simply not it right now. The offense had 99 yards through 3 quarters.
It's ridiculous.
99 total yards of offense through 3 quarters against the worst pass defense in football, who lost Richard Sherman, who they picked up off his couch about 3 weeks ago. They lost him early in the game. So an already depleted secondary that's worse in the league loses, arguably, their next guy up, who they just picked up out of street clothes, and you still can't attack them.
Yep.
It was really hard to watch. Nick Sirianni continues to be problem number 1. But neither him and Jalen, it's okay when a team's supposed to be bad, and you struggle. You can't be part of the problem. You have to, when you're auditioning, when you're Jalen Hurts and you're auditioning to be the future franchise quarterback, when you're Nick Sirianni and you're auditioning to be the future head coach of this organization, you can't be part of the problem. You can't be the biggest part of the problem. You have to try to be part of the solution going forward, and neither have shown they are part of the solution to me so far.
I
Let's get
agree.
to the defensive side of the ball, because that's another thing that I kept hearing when Jalen was struggling. Well, what's he supposed to do? This defense sucks. This defense week to week, the run defense. What do you want the defense to do when the offense has 99 yards of total offense through 3 quarters and goes 3-and-out after 3-and-out after 3-and-out? What do you want that defense to do? That excuse that I heard for Jalen Hurts, what do you want him to do against the defending champs? No. The defense are the ones you give that excuse. What do you want them to do
Yeah.
against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the defending champs, especially when your offense doesn't, dude, it's every week. And this kind of combines Nick Sirianni into why the defense is struggling, in my opinion. The defense is not that good. The linebackers are poor. The defensive line didn't sniff Tom Brady for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. However, when your game plan results in a lot of 3-and-outs, when your game plan results in not running the ball whatsoever, when your game plan results in a lot of incompletions and stopping the clock, at one point, did you know that the time of possession was 27 plus minutes for Tampa Bay and 11 for the Eagles at one point?
Saw it on the screen.
When you lose the time of possession by double digits every single week and you're not running the ball, what do you want your defense to do against Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott? What do you want them to do? So stop giving everyone else the excuse that the defense is bad. How about you give the defense an excuse of, hey guys, you want to help us the hell out? You know how deflating it is to go pick off Tom Brady, and then 35 seconds later, you got to pick your helmet back up off the bench and trot back out there and try to stop him again. It's deflating, man. So no, was the defense good? No, they didn't touch Brady. They didn't sniff Brady. But they weren't the reason you lost the game.
No.
And that's all I keep hearing. Oh, the defense was terrible. Were they?
I'll tell you what, on Thursday, they played better than I thought. We held Tom Brady to 28 points. Okay. And again, just like you said, with that time of possession, honestly, I'm not upset with the defense at all. Now, am I upset we didn't get any pressures or even not even touching Tom Brady? A little bit, but I mean, the secondary played well enough. They kept us in that game. We were 2 PI calls being close to that game. That's the only reason why. 2 of our touchdowns were because of 2 deep ball PI calls that neither one of them would have been caught because I think they were both thrown to Jalen Reagor. That second one, I don't even think was PI because the ball was underthrown so much that Reagor had to stop in his feet and the corner was still running and just hit Reagor. So honestly, that was terrible. If them 2 PI calls happen, what's the score of this game? Because it's not 28-22. It's not. It's going to be, they're going to score over 30. We're going to be held at 7, and we'd be having a whole different conversation about so much more. But since we're down by 6 points, people are still going to have a little bit of hope. I am so out of this. Like, in my eyes, we scored 7 points against the Buccaneers, against the worst passing defense in the league. We scored 7 points.
I'm so glad you brought that up because when I was on Diamond Talk, we talked about it a little bit. It's the Philly way, dude.
Yeah.
To rope you back in. I left the game early. I left the game after it was in the fourth quarter. I didn't leave extremely early. I left in the fourth quarter after the Eagles had a chance to make it a 6 or 7 point game, and they went 3-and-out again. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I left right after the weakest call ever, and then the kicker misses his first field goal of the year. I left after the Jake Elliott miss. Why you even attempt to kick that field goal is beyond me because it's still a 2-possession game at that point, and then he misses. So I got up, we left, and as I'm walking to my car, you hear the crowd roaring, and he scores, right? And it's a 6-point game. I never was like, oh man, I can't believe we left. Like, what if they come back? Like, we're gonna, because it's what they do. It's every loss. They reel you back in just long enough to keep you and give you hope, and then they snatch it right back away from you. They were never coming back in that game.
No,
never, ever, ever. Not for a second. And people want to freak out at the refs. It's not a violation, Phil. When I pay $150 for a ticket and they perform like that. Okay, wow. So it's not a violation to leave early. How about you perform better and half the crowd won't leave early? Because it's not like I wasn't the only one. Half the crowd was freaking gone and walking to their cars because this team is that much of a disaster.
Hey, I tell you what, I did have a little bit of excitement at the end of the game when we were starting to stop Tom Brady before the 2-minute warning, but that Jannard Avery taunting call happened
All
that
right.
kind of
I'm
put
glad
us
you
out.
said that. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm on the outside of this one. It's not taunting. Okay, I'm not saying that. So it's a horrible call. It's not taunting. However, you are losing the game. You have 2 wins on the year. You have a chance to get your offense the ball back down 6. You make a tackle. You get up as a rotational piece. You're not Fletcher Cox. You're not Darius Slay. You're not Rodney McLeod. You're a rotational edge rusher and a rotational linebacker. You make that tackle. You get back in the huddle. You don't stand up, bump Leonard Fournette in the helmet, and say whatever he said. It's not taunting. Far worse has been done. They're making the sport less and less fun. But you don't let the ref have a chance to throw that flag.
Yeah.
You're not that guy. You're losing. You're
Guy,
not
bro.
a good team. Get your ass back in the huddle and go try to get your offense the ball back. Instead, you put it in the ref's hands. You gave her even a thought to throw that flag, and that resulted in the end of the game. So I'm on the outside. Everyone wants to bitch and moan about the referees, and they weren't good. And I'll be honest, being where I sat, like the Jalen Reagor one pass interference call that people were freaking out about when like the defender, when he was diving back for the ball and the defender like already hit him in the head. Yes, that's pass interference. There, I can't see that.
Right.
And here's another one that made me crack up. And I know we're on the defense and we're about to wrap up this Eagles portion, but like the Quez Watkins throw in the back of the end zone, that people were freaking out on the no PI call. All right. Defender didn't turn around for the ball, whatever. People like we weren't even like questioning a no call. Again, underthrew a ball off his back leg into double coverage. Yeah. Stop begging for the flag, even if it should have been one, and put some sort of blame on the quarterback. Back leg, double coverage, underthrown, and you want to bitch and moan because there's no flag thrown on 3rd and goal. Stop. God, man, this fan base, like, I don't understand it. I'm not trying to be a hater. I want the kid to be it.
Right.
But I don't understand what people have seen. They will go to the edge of the world to fight for this kid. And I don't get it.
You know this reminds me of, real quick, this reminds me of? Okay, so I don't know what your thoughts were on Carson Wentz when he was on the team, or even towards the end. Towards the end, how did you feel towards the end? Like, did you want to keep him still? Like, if he was,
yes, I was on my show. Yeah. I was with the Penalized Network on my show.
Okay, yes, I was
this a very big. Listen. I'm not going to be the guy where after every week, every good Carson Wentz performance, because he's still not playing that great in Indy. They're 1-4, right? He was terrible in 2020. Yeah, I'm not going to be the guy after every bad Jalen Hurts and good Carson Wentz performance. I'm going to be like, oh, man, I wish we had Carson back. Right. But I did allude earlier in the show, too. Now, I get it. One person has played 9 games. One was in his 4th year as franchise quarterback. He got paid. I get all that. So they're a little bit different. But all the excuses that are being made for this kid are what I was saying last year. It's just you know what no one wanted to hear? Those excuses. And he sucks. And he holds on to the ball for too long. And he needs to be gone. And if we had Nick Foles, we'd be a good team.
That was the
worst. If you insert
worst.
Jalen Hurts, we'd be a good team. Well, guess what? You inserted Jalen Hurts. They went 1-3 for the rest of the year. And now this is what you're getting. Again, not asking for Carson Wentz to be back. It was time to move on. He was dog shit in 2020. But wasn't all Carson Wentz's fault. Like 95% of this fan base put it out to be. And now they're trying to make the same excuses, not running the ball, not playing to Jalen Hurts' strengths. The defense isn't that good. The play calling sucks. Holy shit. The same things that were wrong with last year's team, but you didn't want to give that excuse. Whatever. Not going to go there. Not going to do it with people.
Yep.
And you know what the best part though is? This is the first time I've actually spoken about Carson Wentz on a show, like meaning with the Eagles since I don't know, March or whatever. You know what the best part is? I sent this in our group chat the other day. Right. I haven't talked about him. I haven't tweeted about him. I haven't done it on a show. I'm letting it go. You remember when he was traded and all the anti-Wentz people were He's gone. I don't want to hear about him anymore. It's Jalen Hurts' team. Isn't it funny? Because I have receipts on my phone right now. Isn't it funny how all those Jalen Hurts supporters bring up Carson Wentz after every game?
More than anyone.
They are the ones that continue to tweet about him and bring him up and compare him to Hurts. It's every week. After every bad Jalen Hurts performance, it's comparing the numbers to their first 9 games. Y'all gave Carson this much time.
Yep.
Bro.
We're not talking about Carson.
I didn't bring up Carson Wentz.
You're the one that wanted to stop talking about him.
Exactly.
But hey, I'm here for it.
Whatever, man. All right. Let's wrap up with the overall reaction and the outrage of this game, and then we'll get into some week 6 stuff and our Pigskin picks. Look, man, no one, including myself, I don't think, picked the Eagles to win this game. So it's not that I'm mad at the loss. It's not that I'm upset at the loss.
No.
It's not that I'm mad at the 4 losses overall. I'm mad at how they're getting there.
Yes.
I say it after every loss. This year was never about wins and losses. It's about how you get to those wins and losses and growth. It's about how they look week to week, Jeremy. It's about the lack of growth. It's about making the same mistakes over and over. It's about continuing to run out a poor game plan and execution every single week. And for it to be a talking point every single week is a damn problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the loss. It's how you're getting there. It's the trend of the just week. We should not, as Philadelphia fans, as Philadelphia media, as national media has, be talking week to week about common bad themes and being sarcastic and poking fun at what this Eagles team continues to do wrong. Whether it's whether it's the penalties, whether it's not running the ball, whether it's Jalen Hurts' accuracy, whether it's this, whether it's the run defense, whatever it is, it's every week. You know what that tells me? You're not getting better. You're getting worse. You're not adjusting. You're not learning from your mistakes. It's not 1% better every day. Scotty said it best last week. It's not 1% better every day. It's about 1% better every week right now. Mm-hmm. They are as slow. They're not even slowly inclining. They are declining every single week. And that I can't deal with.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part of the season so far.
Frustrating.
So I think that's it, man. I think I got everything out. I know at some point we'll talk about another quarterback and we'll talk about Joe Burrow later in the show, and I'll be like, well, Jalen Hurts. I'll just get off again.
Yeah.
But I'll try my best not to. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Sunday slate of games. Just some that pop out to me. Obviously, we have the Cardinals traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns today. We have the Chargers in Baltimore to take on Lamar and the Ravens. Tomorrow night, you got a Bills-Titans AFC matchup. Jeremy, what game do you want to start with? Are there any other games that pop out to you on today's slate?
Not really other ones that really pop out today. I think that there's, a lot of one-sided games, I'll say this week. I think a pretty interesting one is playing right now of 2 pretty bad teams that could lead up to a pretty good one, the Dolphins and Jaguars over in London. That's probably the more interesting ones, but the Chargers and Ravens are what I'm really excited for. I'm ready to see Justin Herbert going on against Lamar Jackson. That's going to be an amazing game. Definitely one that I'm going to keep my eyes on during the whole game. I think that's going to be the game of the week. That's one that everyone's got to keep their eyes on for sure.
All right, let's start there. Because that is obviously the biggest game of the 1:00 slate and maybe the biggest game of the entire week.
Yeah.
You are right. Justin Herbert versus Lamar Jackson, 2 MVP. 2 MVP. Oh my God, why can I not think of the word?
Candidates.
There it is. 2 MVP candidates early on in this season. I was about to say analysts. I'm like, well, what is going on here? My mind is just not functioning right now. Yeah. It's just funny because I am not the biggest Lamar Jackson fan.
Oh, I know that.
We talk about this a lot on the show. And then of course he goes out and puts up numbers that no quarterback has ever put up before. And I got people hitting me up and I got people saying this. It's just like, my God. But today it is going to be a test because he has put up MVP type numbers this year. His numbers are similar, if not better, in a lot of areas than his, 2019 when he took home the MVP? Then the numbers he put up that year. I think so, right?
It was 19 or 20. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it
It
was
wasn't
19.
last year. Rodgers was last
Right,
year.
yeah, Rodgers was last year, so it had to be 19.
So they are better, if not right around the same as those 2019 numbers. He's been really good. He's had them in almost every game, even with a depleted run game, even with a depleted secondary and defense at
Yep.
times. But the guy on the other side is unreal. And
Man.
Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers are rolling right now. Austin Eckler is producing. Jared Cook has been a great pickup. Mike Williams, I know he's questionable today. I don't know if there's been an official word out on him, but he has like ascended to another level this season. Keenan Allen has been like put on the back burner in terms of like production for this Chargers offense. And the defense isn't being talked about enough, I don't think. I think that run defense, Joey Bosa off the edge, and I know I'm blanking on the safety. When he's healthy, he might be the best safety in all ball.
Derwin James.
There it is. Thank you.
Derwin
I'm so glad
James.
you came on today's show. My mind's blanking today. He's finally back healthy. Just had a pick last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago to seal the game against the Raiders. I think that defense is really good. And I think they are going to give Lamar and Baltimore some issues today. I like the Chargers in this one.
I'm with you. I'm actually with you. I think it's gonna be really similar to the Chargers game last week. Chargers beat the Browns 47-42 last week, and I think it should. I think the score is gonna be right around there as well with the Chargers and Ravens. At least I think. When I look at the Ravens, I've been downplaying them all year because they haven't had their running backs at all, and I don't even know what number running back they're on now. It's like their fourth now. And
Latavius Murray's back, bro.
So I should feel more confident now.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but I've been downplaying the Ravens, and they keep on winning surprisingly. And I had them losing to the Colts last week when they came
really
back.
pissing me off.
It's really pissing me off too. And even though that I'm an Eagles fan, I still go out and support Carson Wentz. I'm not gonna lie. Carson Wentz says what was my favorite player in football when he was on our team, and I just can't hate the guy. So I was watching that Colts Ravens game, and the Ravens didn't really even look good against the Colts, and the Colts aren't that good of a team. They just had a crazy comeback towards the end.
Exactly. And I think that's the most frustrating part about that game is everyone's coming for me about Lamar. And don't get me wrong, second half comeback and those numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he was dog shit in the first half. The amount of times
horrendous.
I watched Lamar Jackson trip over his own feet or his lineman's feet in the backfield for losses, 3 and out, getting beat up by the Colts. Again, credit to them for that comeback. Credit to him for those numbers.
Of course.
But I was rooting for the Colts as well. Probably not the smartest thing when we are trying to get a higher draft pick from
and I know that too. And you know what? This actually worked out the best for us because Carson Wentz played incredible, passed for over 400 yards. So not going to take him out. And they also got the loss, which led us to a better draft pick.
Exactly.
I guess it's better for us Eagles fans, but yeah, I was shocked. So I'm not very high on the Ravens. As they continue to prove me wrong, that's fine. Keep proving me wrong if that's the team you are. But I'm going to stick to it. I don't think the Ravens are that amazing of a team. I think that if they were good teams, beat up on bad teams. Right now, the Colts are not a good team. And the Ravens didn't beat them up. They had a second half comeback and won in overtime because Blankenship, the Colts kicker, got an injury because that should have been an absolute.
Well, you also even if you go back now, listen, I know the Raiders started really hot and they're still, I believe, what, 4? Are they 4-1 or 3-2?
One or the other, yeah, I know.
Obviously with the whole John Gruden mess right now and what's going on there, but you got to remember they're not a great team.
They're 3-2, by the way.
3-2, and Lamar and the Ravens had lost in overtime to that team in week 1. So like, I get it. They've won 4 straight. They barely, like you said. First of all, we're talking about the Colts, them barely beating the Colts. They had to have a 66-yard field goal to beat the Detroit Lions in week 3. After a no delay of game call, which would have made the 4th and 20 a lot longer. So they are barely squeaking by bad teams. So that's kind of where I want to wrap up this game is who is this game more telling about? And I know my answer is the LA Chargers because I know the Ravens are 4-1. I don't think they're that good of a team. They have a lot of injuries on defense. Their offensive line is beat up right now. Sammy Watkins is out today. They don't have a lot of weapons around Lamar. The running back room is depleted. And yes, he's putting up big-time numbers. You barely beat the Colts and Lions, and you lost to the Raiders.
Yep.
So I don't think you're that good. So if you being the Chargers, I guess, would maybe be a little bit of a wake-up call for me. But the Chargers, on the other hand, you beat the Chiefs. And you're kind of rolling right now, right? And if you don't have, you're a couple penalties away. You're a penalty away from being 5-0 because you had so many self-inflicted wounds against the Dallas Cowboys in week
Dallas,
2.
yeah.
If you can now go into Baltimore and beat the Baltimore Ravens, who I'm not high on, but people are high on, and Herbert outduels another MVP candidate, that tells me the Chargers have ascended to literally championship contention this year. So I think this is way more telling to the Chargers than it is to Baltimore Ravens.
No, yeah, I agree, definitely.
All right, let's get into another game that is slated for 4:05. We got the Arizona Cardinals, the last undefeated team in the NFL, traveling to the Dog Pound to take on the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. This is tough, man. I mean, I think right off the bat, I liked seeing the Chargers over the Ravens, and I get to this game and nothing sticks out to me. The Cardinals, if you are a betting person, the last undefeated team in the NFL who's playing at a high level, being a plus 145 money line today, is very intriguing. However, I do like the Dog Pound today. They are 3-2 and have had, not the easiest of schedules.
Definitely not.
Baker is a little banged up, and they are just still trying to scratch and claw their way to the top of that division. I like the Browns today. I think Baker plays well today, and I think that defensive line, I think Myles Garrett gets home against Kyler Murray. I think they're the first defense to not stop Kyler Murray, but at least contain him a little bit and slow Kyler down. I like the Cleveland Browns over the Cardinals and to give them their first loss. They're not going to go undefeated. So it's like, all right, well, when does this end? Right. They're already 5-0. They got to go to Cleveland now. Are they really going to beat the Browns to go 6-0? I don't think so. I like the Browns.
Yeah, and again, this is going to be another great game. Cleveland's losses have been to a very close game with the Chargers that was 47-42, and then their other loss was against the Chiefs in Week 1, where Baker just, that's kind of what Baker Mayfield is when it comes down where he has to be in total control.
Yeah, man.
He kind of struggles. And that's the reason why I'm going to give it to the Cardinals, is only because I think it's going to have to come down to Baker Mayfield. And with Baker Mayfield being a little bit banged up, he's not going to be playing as well as as people really want him to be. He fits really well into the Cleveland system when they're winning. When they're not winning, Baker Mayfield doesn't look that great. I'm not a huge Baker Mayfield guy.
No Nick Chubb today either. I didn't think about that with the pick, but
still, Kareem Hunt is still a very good running back, and when he has the ball a lot, he's still going to be extremely productive. They just won't have the second guy. So right. I don't think having Chubb out is that huge. It's their offensive line is why their running backs look so amazing. So I'm still going to go Cardinals only because the ball is going to have to go down to Baker. Baker had the chance last week against the Chargers. He didn't do it. I think that the Cardinals are a better team than the Chargers. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult in Cleveland, but I definitely have Arizona in this one. I don't think they are going to go undefeated this season. No, not many teams can do that. However many, twice it's happened before. So I am going to have Cardinals, but I don't think it's an easy game. I think it's going to be just like last week again, with the Chargers and Browns game. It's going to be high scoring. Kyler Murray is going to prove why I called before the year started. So I'm still always on the bandwagon that Kyler Murray is going to win MVP. And I love that I called it. So he better continue to do it. I have him balling out against Cleveland.
Go ahead, bud. Go ahead. Give a little.
If they lit up 47 to the Chargers, I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to go off. No, Ertz probably won't play, but
he can't. No,
yeah,
we didn't even talk about the Ertz trade, but right. Yeah, it is new home. So
yeah,
go win a chip. Go win a chip, Ertz.
Go win a chip, Ertz.
For one of my favorite Philly athletes ever. I feel so bad.
But by the way, I got Cardinals today.
By the way, before I get into my little Baker take real quick, did you see the bullshit that now I gotta watch what I say because of certain guests that I have on my show. But ESPN. Did you see what Ryan Clark was saying about Zach Ertz, the trade?
No, I didn't. Oh, what happened?
So you know how Zach Ertz told the media that he sat in his locker and cried for 30 minutes because he was leaving. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
You know how emotional he was to leave Philly, right?
Yeah.
ESPN and Ryan Clark, obviously they're doing this to get a reaction, doing exactly what I'm doing right now, but congratulations, it worked. Decided to mock it, and Ryan Clark went on a tangent about that's how bad Philly is, and Zach Ertz was crying tears of joy because he was getting the hell out of Philadelphia.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating.
Whatever, it's what they wanted. They like to do this to Philly fans because they know they'll get a reaction out of
Yeah.
them.
A
But
lot
at
of
the same
analysts do
time, I
this.
believe in being a little bit credible when you're speaking on something, and when you know what Philly means to Zach Ertz, how openly public he's been about it, when he wanted to talk to the media and his exit press conference, all the things he said, and that's your take that he was crying tears of joy. And then everyone on the show is cracking up. So whatever.
Oh, that's a little frustrating.
That's that. Eagles are definitely. I'm going to miss Zach Ertz
so much,
and Eagles are going to miss that leadership in the locker room and for that young offense. But your Baker take, I love that you brought that up because it's something I talked about with Scotty on this show before the season started. I do really like the Browns. I thought the Browns could be Super Bowl contenders. I think they still can be. I think they've been off to a rough start. But I said it all comes down to Baker. The D-line, that defense, it's there. The 1-2 punch of Chubb and Hunt with the weapons outside. I know Landry's hurt now, but you got two good tight ends in Hooper and Njoku. OBJ's not being used, but he's back. And the way they use the play action and roll Baker out, Baker is a really good quarterback, in my opinion. I think he gets a lot of hate that's undeserved, but he is yet to make that play in his career. And that's what I needed him to ascend to this year if they were going to make the jump from division winner to championship contender. And it's with the game on the line, ball in your hands, can Baker make the play? He's had a couple chances in 5 games already.
Yes.
And he hasn't come through yet. Yeah. Week 1 against the Chiefs, throws a pick. Last week against the Chargers, he is yet to make that play. And until I see him make that play, I can't buy into the Browns as championship contenders just yet. So Baker Mayfield, today is a huge game for you, my dude. And I think, I asked you the question about the Chargers Ravens, who it says more about. Same thing with this team, with this game. Obviously, if the Cardinals can start out 6-0 and go into Cleveland, it says a lot about them and that they are for real. But I think it says more about the Browns. In this one, because if you lose, you're 3-3 in the division where Lamar is keeping the Ravens afloat, not just afloat, but winning. They're 4-1 with a chance to go 5-1 today at home. At the top of your division, Joey B is playing out of his mind in Cincinnati. They get the Lions today. Obviously, Big Ben and the Steelers are a mess in 4th place. But if you're Baker and the Browns, you don't want to start this season 3-3. You're at home against another good team. Step up, win a game. Baker Mayfield, no Nick Chubb, no Jarvis Landry. Go get OBJ into this game.
Yep.
Defer to Kareem Hunt and let your defense make some plays. Baker make a play when it's there. I like the Browns. Jeremy likes the Cardinals. And speaking of who we like, let's get into our final segment of today's show, which is our Pigskin picks. So as you know, obviously on the screen, Scotty is not here. So Scotty's picks for today, as we are keeping a running tally all year long, his lock, he's got the LA Rams over the New York Football Giants. And for his upset, he's rolling with me. He's got the LA Chargers over Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Jeremy, I'll start with you. Give me your lock of the day first.
My lock of the day, that is, I'm actually with Scotty on this one. I do have the Rams with an absolute lock over the Giants. I don't see any way the Giants can win this game. Rams are one of the best teams in the league. Giants are one of the worst teams in the league. That's definitely my lock of the week for sure.
No Danny Dimes, dude?
Oh, dude, if I hear one more thing about Danny Dimes, I'm done with him.
I have a question.
Okay.
Who gave him that nickname?
I don't know. I don't know if it came out that way. Did he have that in college? I
don't think so.
Because that man doesn't throw dimes.
No dimes come from Danny.
That man doesn't even throw nickels.
Not a one. Not a single dime has fallen out of that pocket.
No. I'll
All
tell you
right.
what though, he hasn't been throwing interceptions, which that is why
No,
people might
he just
like him a little bit more.
continues to set
It's
an astounding record for fumbles, but
yes, he does have that.
all right.
But
My lock, obviously Scotty sent me in his picks. You have the Rams as well. I would love to take the Rams. I joke around with Scotty week to week, and I told you earlier, I have a 1-game lead on Scotty. I might just pick the same games as him every week just to hold my 1-game lead, win or loss. But I won't do that. I'm going to be a little different today. We talked about him earlier, man. Now this could be a bad trap game versus Davis Mills, but I'm going with Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts
wow,
over
interesting.
the Houston Texans today. Colts are 1-4. Haven't played. I mean, they just probably played their best game of the season and came away with an overtime loss thanks to a kicker, like you said. Carson played his best game in white and blue so far.
Yep.
Maybe they are starting to figure things out, and they're being left to hang around in that division because the Titans have not played good football so far. The Titans get the Buffalo Bills tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. They are at home, but I don't like the Titans to win that game.
Not a shot.
I think Carson and the Colts can stick around in this division, and it starts with today. You cannot lose to Davis Mills and the Houston Texans. They are maybe the worst team in all of the National Football League, one of the worst teams in all of the National Football League. So I'm going to go with the Colts today. I've actually taken them multiple times in this segment this year as an upset or a lock, and they've only bit me in the ass once. Okay. I took them over to Seahawks week 1 as an upset, and that's the only time they haven't come through for me. But that is my lock. Who do you have as your upset, Jeremy?
Okay, so this one might be a little bit of a shocker. This is one that I wanted to be really interesting with.
All right.
Do I think this is the better team? God, no, not a shot. But I could see it happening, and if it does, I'm gonna give myself props for way too long. But Chicago is home this week against the Packers. And that is a rivalry game. And
what?
Dude, it's not a lock. It's an upset.
Wow.
Imagine if this happens. Bears are 3-2 right now. They've been playing. Like, I know that the play calling has been terrible from Matt Nagy and everything that's been going on in Chicago, but Green Bay had their struggling week 1, and yes, they've been coming back firing and everything. But Chicago, if they get this upset this week over Green Bay, come on.
Listen. I love the thought process. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say you're going 1-1 this week on your audition on Turf Talk.
If I come out 2-0, I'm getting on the show next week, and I'm going to come out and just prove that I'm right.
If the Bears win today, you might have found a role going forward in Turf Talk for Pigskin Picks. I'll give you that. As my upset, now, if things were, going smoothly, in that kind city, it probably wouldn't be an upset today. But I'm going with the interim head coach and the Las Vegas Raiders over the Denver Broncos. I think they're 4 or 4.5 point dogs today. I think they're in Mile High as well. But I like the Raiders in this one. I know they have a lot of issues going on right now, but they didn't lose their head coach to, a tragedy or something, like, you know what I mean? Like something where like something went wrong with the head coach. They lost their head coach because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So I think something like that, when you see the rumors and you see the leaks, might galvanize this locker room a little bit more than, bring them down. Division game, they have been playing well. Good, high powered passing offense. I like them over the Denver Broncos, whether it's Teddy Two Gloves or Drew Lock today. I think it's Teddy Two Gloves that's starting today. But
yeah, probably.
But yeah, I like the Raiders. I think what happened there might galvanize them this week more than, tear them down.
That's a good pick. I like that. I do like that. I definitely could see that happening. I have been high on the Broncos this year after they won their first 3 games against some really bad teams. But their past 2 games have really showed themselves, so I am a lot lower on the Broncos. But on What the Football, me and Chance do our power rankings of every team 1 through 32 every week. Yeah.
By the way, very nice graphic, and I might need you to make a Pigskin pick graphic that we can adjust.
Oh yeah, I can definitely do that. So we love doing that, and I used to have the Broncos right around the 12 to 13 range, and now they're around 20 for me. So
wow.
They've been going down the past 2 weeks.
They drop. Well, that's what happens when you have Teddy Two Gloves, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some highs, a lot of lows, a lot of mediocrity.
A lot of mediocrity.
Average football team when your quarterback
a
wears.
Very average football team right there.
Why does he wear a glove on his throwing hand?
I don't know. Dude, I hadn't even noticed it when I watched him play that much. You know how I actually noticed? I was playing Madden the other day, and I faced the Broncos, and I was like, why does he have 2 gloves
Who
on?
were you?
Like, what? I forget who I even was.
Don't lie.
I was probably the Eagles. I'm usually the Eagles.
You're probably like the Chiefs or the Bucs or something.
Oh, no, never.
Cheap
I hate
ass.
people that do that. That seems like a George move.
Man. All right. Before we wrap up today's show, you're a betting man, Jeremy, I think, a little bit.
I'm 19 years old, so I can't say online if I'm a betting man.
Okay. All right. Might have to rethink my strategy here.
But I can say bets that, yes.
Yeah, you're allowed to look.
Yeah, I look.
You're not allowed to put any money down, but you can look at lines.
Money down, but yes.
Okay. Let's do that then.
Okay.
So I'm going to read you some of my bets then. You let me know. By the way, no longer am I in a drought. I am red hot right now.
Really?
Red hot.
That's what I like to hear.
Hot. Okay. So
All
today,
right.
rolling into today, I got a couple little parlays I put together.
Okay.
All right, so for all you betting people out there, this is just a 3-game all money line. I didn't even go any spreads here. I got the Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, and LA Chargers. $50 wins $296.25.
Okay.
Obviously, Chargers, little risque in Baltimore. That one's scary, but this one I like a little bit more. Going with some favorites: Packers, Bengals, Rams, Colts. I forget to even out my account. I put like 57.07 to win 201.30.
Okay.
It's not. I'm feeling confident there.
I like them.
Now let's get to the interesting one. One that I haven't hit yet. See, this is where I've been hot going back to games, but the same game parlays have not come through yet. But and what I think will be a high scoring affair with the Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
Here's what I've dialed up. Baker Mayfield over 229.5 passing yards.
Yeah.
230 plus.
Fair.
Kyler Murray, 250 plus passing yards.
I would agree.
Now this one, I don't know why the odds were so good for this one. I guess he doesn't get many targets, but he did have a big touchdown last week. Njoku, 25 plus receiving yards. It's manageable.
They're going to have to pass the ball more.
It's manageable.
And it's definitely manageable. I think
one catch. It's one
fair.
catch.
Yeah, that could be one big catch.
All right. D-Hop, 75 plus receiving yards.
It's D-Hop, so I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's most likely going to happen. I have him on fantasy, and I feel like he balls out every week. But yes, I think it's fair.
I can't remember a time DeAndre Hopkins had less than 75 receiving yards. So. Probably last week, and I just don't know it. But that's what we're going to go with. Now here's where the hits have to come in. Okay,
you had to get something in.
Well, yeah, you got to
get something interesting in there.
All right, this one he is the best. He's the most likely to score a touchdown today. Kareem Hunt, anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah.
All right. Now this
100%.
This is where the odds get boosted, right? Haven't heard much from him in a couple weeks. Bursted onto the scene in a packed receiving room. Rondale Moore, anytime touchdown score.
Wow. Okay.
$30 wins $1,185.
Wow, really?
It does.
Is that just because of Rondale Moore?
He's a plus 400 anytime TD score. So
wow.
he took those odds from here to here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good bet. Now, it's going to be hard for Rondale Moore because he's not anything like a red zone threat. It's going to have to be a ball that's thrown probably more than 25 plus yards.
That's fine.
But hey, Rondale Moore is quick as hell.
High-powered offense. It's what I like to hear. Mark it down. I'll miss by one leg, so don't take something away. Whatever you think is going to bite me. And you know what'll happen? It'll be D-Hop 75 yards.
Yep.
Or Njoku will have 21 receiving yards. Something like that is what happens to me. But I would roll with my other stuff because and you know what? I gotta give props to George Ryder for yesterday, your co-host on Diamond Talk.
This guy
got me with some college football. Then I went out and put together Ole Miss and Wisconsin late. And But I'm red hot on hockey, dude. The start to the NHL year has been nice to your boy.
Wow. I am terrified to do anything with hockey. I don't know enough about hockey. I need to get back into it.
Come to your boy.
I might
Come to
need
your boy.
to.
I
I
got
might
you.
need to.
With that being said, Turf Talk is obviously brought to you by DSM Media, streaming to you guys live through our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter accounts. We are on every social media platform, including Instagram and TikTok, as well as the 4 I listed. We're also on any streaming services where you get your podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever. And DSM Media is now proud to be brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with our code DSM at manscaped.com. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes the multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. And did I mention the wireless charging? The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Get 20% off and free shipping with our code DSM at manscaped.com. Again, that is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using promo code DSM. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. That's going to wrap up today's. What's up?
So 20% off and free shipping. Come on.
Come on, guys. Support your boys at Team DSM. And if you also want to support your boys at Team DSM, head on over to our Twitter at DSM_media. Click the link tree in our bio, and our TeePublic site comes up as the first link in our link tree. We have a bunch of merch set up already for you guys, including Turf Talk, Faithful Fanatics, just your plain DSM media, as you can see here. There you go. There you go if you want to support your boys. And we also have Jalen Hurts, Rent is Due, and a Nick Sirianni Attack Every Day t-shirts up. We're also working on some Sixers flyers and Phillies gear to get up for you guys on the site as well. So if you want to support any shows or DSM as a whole, head on over to our TeePublic in our link tree and support your boys. For myself, for Jeremy, for DSM Media, and for Manscaped, have a great Sunday afternoon. See you guys on Thursday.